So far what I got is a very basic table, and my table just consists of, right now the code, it's just my table HTML element, and we have table rows, and inside of each one of those rows is either the first row, if we look over here, the one that's in bold is my table header, and then down there is my TD, my table data. So this is a table header for the column, and each one of these is the table data. Now this is a very basic table, and there's nothing wrong with this. There's absolutely nothing wrong. Actually, if we want to make sure there's nothing wrong, we can, we could validate the document, and the HTML is fine. But we do want to make it a little more advanced. Now, what I've done in this table is I've used three more table elements to define everything. I put thead, which is the table head, for the very top header, the whole entire header row. Then I did tfoot, which is a footer for the table, which is right down here, and tbody, which is everything in the middle. These aren't required tags by any means, but they do give the table more semantic meaning altogether, and that's the one thing that it does, just from a back-end point of view. But from a design perspective, actually, we're going to have like a couple more hooks to hook into, right? Because now we're going to have a table header and a table, or a table head and a table row we could go right into. And the basic structures, just like that. The actual table headers, we're going to encapsulate what we already have into table header, and then table body and table foot. Actually, it's important to realize something that's not as intuitive as it could be, is that the order it goes in is, first you have the table header, then you got to put the table foot, the tfoot, and then the table body. So let's do that right now. So at this point you should have something similar to what I have. You have a table, and underneath the table is the first table row, which is going to have the table headers. That's the main column over here. And then inside of the next table rows should be all the different artists, and your table data underneath there should actually correspond with your header, right? So the first thing in my table header is I have artwork. Well, this is artwork. The next thing is my artist. Well, Brian Eno, that's my artist. Then song, 2/1, 2/1, and then album, music for airports. So that's, you got to keep that consistent. But now what I'm going to do is I'm going to encapsulate this first row, and this is going to be my T head, and then I'm going to make sure I close it, and then I do that little indent. Alright, now we're going to have table footer, or tfoot, and in here I'm just going to put let's see, table data. I'm just going to put in here information about, well, information in the footer. I don't know what I'm going to put in there yet, and make sure I close that. And of course, tbody, and this is going to have all of my actual stuff. I'm just going to bring that all over. All I did there was indent it already, and then I'll close it out. And now if you look, not much has changed. A little bit, a little shifted around because some of the default values that are associated with these things. Meaning the tbody, tfoot, and theader. But now we actually have more semantic value, and we're getting to definitely a more sophisticated table that could hold a lot better stuff. Actually, I'm looking here at the W3C school website, which also gives you a basic understanding of using the table header and tbody and all these different things, and how they're supported in the various browsers today.